From time to time, it might be wise for you to pause the video and take some effort and some thinking in trying to do these problems on your own. So here's a good opportunity, especially if you're getting used to this one-sided limit versus two-sided limits. So take some time, pause the video, see if you could answer the following expressions or rewrite the following expressions, and then, you could also then unpause the video, play the video, and see if you could check your answers. All right, so here's an example with one-sided and two-sided limits. What you want to do here is use the graph of g in the figure to find the following values. Okay, if the limit does not exist, go ahead and try to explain why. And for the expression g of 2, we're going to simply write the expression there. We want to know what the function value is, the output value is when x is 2. So g of 2, does that have a function value? The function value is actually 3. Okay, so when x is 2, where is the y value? The corresponding y value is actually 3. And so we'll go ahead and write that. Okay, I'm going to circle the expression there. And notice we're just simplifying expressions for this entire example. We're going to go ahead and rewrite the original expression. The limit as x approaches 2 from the left, where do the corresponding g of x values approach? So let's look at it. X approach 2 from the left, where do the corresponding y values approach? So as x approaches 2 from the left, where do the corresponding y values approach? Turns out they're also approaching 2, even though 2, there seems to be a hole there. Okay, I'll go through it again. As x approaches 2 from the left, where do the corresponding y values approach? They're approaching the y value of 2. Okay. Remember this double bar symbol. This double bar symbol is very important in mathematics. This means is to have the same value as. All right, it has a very specific meaning. Okay, people mistaken it as the equal symbol or the is symbol, and that is not true. Okay, if you want to learn how to use this double bar symbol, go ahead and say is to have the same value as. All right, it's a little bit more complicated than just equals. All right, let's look at part C. Go ahead and rewrite the expression. The limit as x approaches 2 from the right side, where do the corresponding g of x values approach? If they approach anything at all. Let's see. Does this have the same value as, as x approaches 2 from the right side, where do the corresponding y values go? Let's try that again. As x approaches 2 from the right side, where do the corresponding y values go? They're going to 3. All right, let's look at the next expression. This time, it's the limit as x approaches 2 from both sides. Where do the corresponding y values go, or the corresponding function values go? Okay, as x approaches 2 from both sides, where do the corresponding y values go? Well, some y values go to 2 and some values go to 3. Well, that is not acceptable. So what that means is there's a conflict, and we actually will say that the limit does not exist. Okay, because the limit from the left-hand side is not equal to the limit from the right-hand side. Okay, let's go to the next part. What is g of 3? G of 3 is an expression. Let's see. G of 3 is in fact 2. All right, we're done with that. What is the next part? The next part says, well, let's see if we could evaluate the one-sided limit as x approaches 3 from the left. Where do the corresponding function values go? So x approaches 3 from the left. Where do the corresponding function values go? They're actually going to 3. Notice I'm writing top to bottom. Typically, when we're simplifying expressions, we could write top to bottom. A little bit easier to see those substitutions if you write top to bottom. Same thing with solving equations. When you get to a process called solving equations, I would strongly suggest that you write top to bottom. The next part. The limit as x approaches 3 from the right-hand side, where do the corresponding y values go? X approaches 3 from the right-hand side, where do the corresponding y values go? They're going to 2. And we're done with that. Make sure you're rewriting expressions. Okay, notice you're writing the limit notation. That is very important. You will be asked to be able to write and perform limit notation for the early parts of calculus. For h, let's see what it says. We want g of 4, no problem. What is g of 4? The function value when x equals 4. It is actually at 3. It's weird how the 4 is missing. There it is. Let's see. Why don't we look at the next part? We want the limit as x approaches 4 from both sides. Where do these corresponding function values go? Let's see. X approaches 4 from both sides. Where do the corresponding function values go? They are approaching 3. And that's it. It's really that simple. We are done.